Hello everyone, it is Briximus Prime back for another Marvel Legends action figure review, and today we're going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Fantastic Four Walmart exclusive waves, PsychoMan and High Evolutionary, also known as two of the few figures that people actually cared about. Don't get me wrong, the Fantastic Four are fine characters, it's just, we've gotten these Marvel Legends figures basically before, just in, you know, the Walgreens exclusive waves and a bunch of others, and so the PsychoMan and the High Evolutionary were the only figures that were actually like brand new guys who had been getting Marvel Legends for like the first time in like a long while. So it was in full honesty, they are the only two new figures that anyone actually cared about. While we're here looking at the back of the boxes, they have short little one-sentence bios here on the back of these figures, and just shows some product images and comic book art. It says Fantastic Four, and yeah, these are two figures that I wasn't really willing to buy for full price, because they are just figures that don't include Build-A-Figure parts or that many accessories. So both of these figures I actually did both get on clearance. PsychoMan I got on Walmart clearance for $10. High Evolutionary I got at GameStop for like $8. So pretty good figures, I'd say, for those prices, but for the full $22 price point, kind of pushing it. The Fantastic Four logo looks amazing. I love the comic art, and I love the little Marvel Comics logo up there, and the artwork looks great. As much as I bag on these figures, I do have to admit they are pretty good action figures. Dare I say they're pretty fantastic? Subscribe for more funny humor. Here's one of the main aspects of these figures that didn't really convince me to buy them for their full price in the first place. Yes, they may have been new figures, but they didn't really convince me with the amount of accessories that they came with. Starting with PsychoMan. PsychoMan didn't come with any alternate hands, but he did come with his, something box. I can't remember the exact name of it, but I'm just going to call it Jeffrey for now. But basically, this is a piece of technology that PsychoMan invented so that he could manipulate the emotions of fear, doubt, and hate. So that's basically what Jeffrey does. And yeah, it's a pretty simple accessory, got good mechanical detailing, nothing much to really say about it. And then High Evolutionary just came with two pairs of hands. He comes with this pair of, I guess, like elegant, like relaxed, open hands. And again, nothing much really to say about it. I guess the, knuckles and sculpting look alright, but again, nothing much to really say. And then he just comes with a pair of fists. And first thing I have to say is I honestly don't really know that much about PsychoMan. That wasn't until after I got this figure. I mostly got him because he was a new Marvel Legends figure and he looked like a pretty decent figure, which he actually is. But about his backstory, basically this guy comes from the Microverse, which in the MCU was renamed into the Quantum Realm. But basically, this guy is from the Microverse in the comics, and he, in the Fantastic Four series, he basically is, he's technically this microscopic man, but this figure represents his giant robotic body that I guess he invented, and then he grew it to real normal size, I guess. Man, sure sounds like someone's compensating for something. There's nothing really much to say about him other than that. I know he appeared in like the Contest of Champions game and stuff like that, but honestly there is nothing much to really say about him. But what is nice about this figure, and especially there with starting with that head sculpt, it looks really good. The gold face, it does look a little bit off, but I mean, it's not like, it's comic books, we're kind of used to crazy character designs at this point, but I think they did a great job at portraying PsychoMan here in figure form. Like, this has got to be the best action figure we'll ever get of the character of PsychoMan ever. And speaking of, coming down the rest of the body, a lot of the details are very simplistic. It's mostly just little panel lines and things like that, and they're all cleanly painted. I will give it that. But what's nice about it, though, is it does have a semi-realism to it in a way. These weird ring things on his legs actually are pretty practical to the action figure itself. And one of the things I must also mention is this figure is really sturdy and well put together. This is some of Hasbro's best at its work. It actually encourages you to actually learn more about PsychoMan. Like, this is one of those niche Marvel Legends or Marvel characters that people don't really know about, but the fact that they give him such a high quality quality, awesome action figure is it makes you want to learn more about him. Like, I wouldn't have known anything about PsychoMan if I didn't buy this figure, and then it made me want to learn more about him. Going over his posability, he doesn't come with any alternate hands, by the way, just the box. He's got a ball joint here at the head, which allows him to look up and down, swivel from side to side, and then some head pivoting. Shoulders can rotate a full 360. They can also move out that far and in that far. Bicep swivel. Double jointed pinless elbows. His wrists can swivel and can hinge up and down. And that's on both of his hands. Nice diaphragm joint, which allows for an arching back, an ab crunch, diaphragm pivot. His hips can move forward that far. This is a pliable material, makes room for it. They can move back that far. They can move outward that far. And even with these weird leg rings here, it doesn't hinder articulation. Nice tight thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. And then his ankles can move up, down, and very good ankle pivot. Again, the articulation and detail on this guy is very high quality, very on par with Build-A-Figures, and it really encourages you to really actually care about who this figure is, since there was so much love put into him. And now taking a look at the High Evolutionary, this figure is quite reflective in the face, and it's actually giving my camera a hard time focusing on him, so sorry if it gets thrown out of focus throughout the review, but overall, a very good interpretation of High Evolutionary, and unlike PsychoMan, I actually know who this character is. But I don't really know that much about him, because I haven't read too many of the comics that he's from. But basically, High Evolutionary is this, like, guy who feels himself to be superior above everyone else. Sounds like a group of people that I know from somewhere. If my knowledge is correct, I believe High Evolutionary is the guy responsible for the creation of Rocket Raccoon, and also I think the extinction of most of Groot's alien race. But overall, I think his action figure is interpreted quite well. Again, correct me in the comments if any of my information is wrong. So this guy seems pretty accurate. He's got some nice paint apps. Again, I like the metallic plastic they used. It does have a little bit of marbling here and there, but I think it overall doesn't look too bad. He's got all these silver buttons and discs all throughout the mold, which look very good. Again, the yellow eyes and everything looks very nice. I like this little head crest up here. His arms are, I believe, are a brand new mold, or maybe somewhat brand new. They got this like riveted detail. He's got his gloves right there. He's got his belt and his tunic right there. And again, the figure looks like High Evolutionary, but honestly, the figure does have a bit of issues with the feel of it. Now, honestly, the rest of it feels good. He's got this amazing ball joint at the head, which allows him to look up that far, down that far, a lot of head pivoting, and then the shoulder can rotate a full 360. Obviously, this little shoulder pad kind of gets in the way, and it's not that pliable of a material, but it is there. And the shoulder can move out that far, down and down that far, but this shoulder is so stupidly tight that I feel like I'm gonna break off his bicep. I really don't like this. I wish Hasbro had figured out a way to get this quality control under control. I'm not even gonna try to move that down right now, but continuing the posability, he does have a bicep swivel, and then he does have double jointed elbows, pinless, by the way. Both of his wrists, including the open ones, rotate and hinge up and down. He does have a diaphragm pivot, which doesn't have too much range in the arching back or crunch. Does have a little bit of diaphragm pivot, but it definitely helps with his waist swiveling, especially since his actual waist is kind of hindered by this belt piece. His hips can move forward that far, they can move back that far, they can move outward that far. Thigh swivel, double jointed pinless knees. He does get a boot rotation, ankles move up, they can move down, and he gets great ankle pivot. So again, very good articulation on the High Evolutionary and PsychoMan. I just wish that this shoulder wasn't so flippin' tight. Here's PsychoMan and High Evolutionary with the last two Marvel Legends figures that I took a look at, the Spider-Man Retro Collections Symbiote Spider-Man and Sandman. And then here they are with another comic book cosmic villain that I took a look at, the Marvel Legends Deluxe comic book Thanos. So that's it for comparisons. And yeah, that is basically it for my review on the PsychoMan and High Evolutionary from the Fantastic Four wave. For action figures of characters who are basically nothing to the public eyes, These figures are actually very well made and very well put together. And honestly, they are probably the best action figure interpretations of these characters, and I highly doubt Hasbro would be able to top themselves on both of these figures. The only complaint I really have, and this counts for both of the figures, is they are really lacking in accessories. For the price that Hasbro was asking for these guys, they were really lacking in accessories to really convince me to buy them for their full price. Again, I bought these guys on clearance, so like that should really tell you how much I was willing to pay for these figures. But that being said, especially in the case of the PsychoMan, he is very, very high quality and a very sturdy Marvel Legends. There is literally zero problems with him, which works in the figure's benefit because it actually makes me enjoy the action figure, posing it around, and it makes you kind of want to learn about who PsychoMan is. And again, the High Evolutionary was the same way, but I kind of got a little bit discouraged by that tight shoulder, but I still knew who High Evolutionary was, because at least with him compared to PsychoMan, he's been in more comics and shows. And yeah, if I had to give these figures individual ratings, I give the PsychoMan an honest 9 out of 10. The only reason I don't make him 10 out of 10 is because it just would have been nice if he had maybe some blast effects or extra hands. Just accessories is all he needed. And then High Evolutionary, I give him a solid 7 out of 10. He mostly just needed accessories, and then that shoulder would have been a lot better if it wasn't so flipping tight. But other than that, the figures are perfectly fine. So thank y'all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this Marvel Legends review. I really appreciate those who watch my non-Transformers reviews, so be sure to give me a like on the video and comment down below what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel for more Marvel Legends and toy reviews, and I'll catch you guys next time.